So one of the biggest weak links, especially on the 2500s, if you're towing anything heavy, you tend to bend your tie rods. It's known to be a Chevy thing. And I picked these up from KB Diesel. They were only, I think, 20 bucks. And they're basically tie rod sleeves. They're threaded on the inside. You thread them over the tie rod, and you essentially have a kryptonite, $200 tie rod for whatever the OEM was plus these. And if you end up upgrading to a thicker tie rod, such as like the Moog, these also slide directly over those. So the biggest thing is taking these off. So first off, you have a little pin on top that you thread through. Then you can take this off and basically hammer the tie rod down. After that, take your measurements the best you can with a tape measure, and then you can just thread this on, tighten it back up, and you have a sleeve tie rod, which is pretty necessary if you use four-wheel drive, towing, off-roading, whatever you want to do. So now with the tape measure, you're going to want to take a very precise measurement, one that you can remember to the best of your ability. I've done a couple of these before, so I'll take it from this greaser right here, and I'll measure to this boot right here, or to the other greaser, and I'll do greaser to greaser. So that way when I pull this off, I know exactly how I'm putting it back on. And with that, I've never had to go to an alignment afterwards. I normally do it if I replace other parts, but just a tie rod, you end up being all right. So after the castle nut's pulled off, which is a 22 mil, I like to loosen my tie rod nut, and then I'll go ahead and hammer it out. I only have one hand here, so I'm gonna have to put the camera down. So as soon as you're done hammering it out, you can just spin the outer tie rod all the way off. It only took a couple hits with the hammer. I don't think these have ever been changed on this truck, and it's 20 years old, so not an issue at all. It is a Louisiana truck in Florida now, so no rust to really be worried about. So I'll go ahead and pull this off. This was, what size was it? This happened to be a 22. I needed a 22 wrench for this, which is fine. So I'll take the tie rod sleeve, and I believe both ends of one end is threaded. So you would take the sleeve end, it'll slide in like so, slides in great, and then this will actually replace the jam nut that you use. So there won't be any need for this nut anymore. You'll use this instead, or you can use both. I tend to use both because the further this is sleeved down, the more confident I feel that it's doing its job. So once you get the same measurement back to what you got, I had 15 3/4 on the dot, with the center of the zero being there. So now we'll go ahead and hammer this back in, and then after it's hammered in is when I'll tighten this, because I don't want this to be able to move back and forth. You can get it tight. I ended up not keeping the knot because I think this looks a little cleaner. So yeah, we'll hammer it in, tighten it up, and that's a sleeve tie rod for you. Super simple. After it's all tightened up, you tighten this top nut all the way down. I don't know what the torque setting, but anything suspension, this solid Ugga Dugga gets you right. Feed the little pin through, close over the top, done.